Denial of evolution is unique to the United States.
Nobody's like us. Everybody is free to roam.
These guys have all been waiting in line for the PS4 launch at midnight tonight. How long have you been waiting in line today?
You hired me. It's like 9 hours.
All right, we're going. So how has your week been, guys? Boring as shit?
It's over. Well, it was over Friday. That's really all that really matters.
I saw the...
Mine's been pretty hectic because of unpacking and shit, but other than that...
Whatever. He's going to be wearing that fucking clown shoes worth of clothes to work. You wait and see. We've seen how that turns out.
Clown shoe? What?
When he moved to, like, Shady Banks or whatever, he came to work at the video store one day. He was, like, wearing, like, orange and white shorts and, like...
No.
shoes and a purple shirt and...
No, I was wearing camo shorts with a bright orange shirt. I forget what shoes I had at the time.
Why the fuck do you have camo shorts?
I'm sure that you were trying to give us that description to make it sound better, but it didn't work. You should have stuck with mine.
No, I just figured if I was going to garner ridicule, it might as well be accurate.
Might make it worth it. Oh, you mean like when you came to school and you had like the Darth Maul pencil and the Darth Maul backpack, the Darth Maul
There was no Darth Maul
Trapper
backpack.
Keeper.
The Darth Maul backpack is like a fabrication of your mind.
I know, but I've said it so many times now I can picture it in my mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those little plastic vinyl backpacks like you get for kids in 5th grade.
They don't last more than 3 days.
Oh yeah.
They hold no weight. Oh. What about you, Chris? Just still the unpacking? No, you mentioned that. Fuck balls. And no, I'm not hungover this time. Ha.
And delicious Satsuma oranges.
Satsuma oranges.
Or mandarins or whatever you call these things.
Okay.
Asian.
They're delicious.
Asian oranges.
They're like little oranges that are the size of like golf balls, but they're so easy to peel and eat that you can do it with your hand, your fingernails really easily.
It's like little oranges they put in salads.
They're delicious.
Oh, I've been talking to some people, and it's not going to be on this episode, but on another episode, I'm going to have a band playing in the background.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Well, it's a what is it? It's a post-rock band. It's all instrumental, and it's a really good band from around here called Goodbye Titan.
Whatever. Play some Godspeed You Black Emperor. Stop being a bitch.
But you guys should check them out.
It's sad. Like, I was listening to post-rock. 15 Years for West could spell post-rock back when I was a cool kid in college.
You were a cool kid in college?
I know, and you still haven't got there. I don't know what's going on with you.
I'm the one who graduated twice, ass.
They had Godspeed You Black Emperor, that 9 Inch Nails concert. That was pretty fucking banging.
Sweet. Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was really good. I liked it. It was very not full. There was only like 5,000 people there total, which sounds like a lot, but isn't.
Well, I talked to a lot of people that missed the show, and a lot of them just had to work.
Well, see, it was, I mean, it was in the week. It was on a Monday.
Yeah,
so there you go.
It's a really hard time to rock out.
Well, not only just that, but it was a Monday, and it was like during the state fair.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because the state fair just started, didn't it?
Well, it had started, like 3 days before.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much that would do, but that might have siphoned off some people.
Out of curiosity, because I saw the video that Michelle uploaded, what did they have like if you are prone to seizures, you might not want to be here?
I think that really goes with any 9 Inch Nails concert, and if you don't know it, fuck you, you should die. That's really Trent Reznor's way of thinning the herd, so I'm cool with that.
Darwin theory on music.
But I mean, 9 Inch Nails has always been a very visual experience, which is why I wasn't worried about sitting in the seats I sat in, which were actually good seats for the price. I mean, they were like straight on. They were at the the back of the seats that weren't upper deck, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And even if you were at the bottom of the seats, the view wouldn't have been that much better. The only way you're gonna get a really good view is if you were in like the standing room only pit part. I was like, hell with that. I'm not paying like $100 to stand up for 3 hours. Screw
Yeah,
that. I'm
well,
old.
That's where I would have wanted to been.
Yeah, no, go to hell.
It's fun.
I got to enjoy it. I got to tap my feet along with the music and bob my head from the seat like an old man.
Did you have your sweater vest?
Who didn't? But
Grandpas are going to be hardcore in the future.
it was awesome. About half of what they played. Well, I'll rephrase that. They played about half of their new album. That wasn't about half of what they played. And then the rest was a pretty good mix. I mean, you had you had Head Like a Hole. That was actually the last song of the normal set before they went to their encore. They had Hand That Feeds. They played 1 Million. That was nice. They played March of the Pigs.
Good.
They played Piggy. I hadn't heard Piggy in like 9 million years because it's barely a song. They played Sanctify. They played a quite a good mixture of stuff. Like they played almost a couple songs off every album. You had some Pretty Hate Machine. You had some Fragile. You had it went on through.
Nice.
They didn't play the song that I knew they would never play because I think they're kind of embarrassed they made it. But I still have a soft spot in my heart for it, which is Starfuckers Incorporated.
Oh yeah, that song's fantastic.
It's classy. Truly, it is.
I don't know if they'd be ashamed that they made it because that came out during the time period of like the Fragile and all that, right?
Well, I say ashamed because like you never ever hear it, ever.
Well, it's extremely vulgar, and they did get a lot of radio play, and it
but it was Starsuckers then, so
yeah, but it's one of their only songs that is heavily edited when it did get radio and video play.
The song I really wanted to hear, I was almost 100% positive they wouldn't play and they didn't because I don't know if it's because of the length or what's going on or it's like a considered a deep cut. I always like to hear Perfect Drug.
Oh, yes.
And they didn't play that at all, which I figured they wouldn't. If they had played that, I'd be like, holy fucking shit. Bong, dong, 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 dong. Love that song.
Oh,
badass.
Nuts. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I went to the, it was either go to that show or go to the show for We Came as Romans, which was later that week, and didn't have enough to buy tickets for both shows. Enjoyed We Came as Romans. Great.
How much was that one?
25.
Well, shit, at $15 would have been 9 Inch Nails. It won't like I think it was like $36, $39 for the ticket I got.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. Is didn't have enough money to go to both shows.
I know, but I don't think you're seeing what I'm saying.
Well, not to mention, for the exact same price, I did get to go stand in a pit. Which was
See,
nice.
you're using that as a plus.
I'm sorry. I like being in part of the crazy.
I like
but
to go
safe.
stand in it was. I promise you. You can tell that people are getting old that are fans of 9 Inch Nails because the pit wasn't a pit. It was a bunch of people standing up in front of the stage watching them. They weren't jumping around. I think I saw one person crowd surf.
Oh, nice.
That one guy and all the people holding him were like, God damn it.
It had to be one. We were having a perfectly good fucking time until you came along.
No, it was kind of nice going to the show that I went to. There was 5 bands. Danger Kids was the first band on stage, and normally the first band doesn't really get the crowd kind of going, you know. But this band did one hell of a successful job on it, and they actually got to do a stage dive like within mid of their set.
Well, I'm sorry, you started talking about local bands. I kind of faded out there.
Not a local band. They're from like Ohio.
Have I heard of them? They're local.
They're new. They
same
joined the tour.
Suck, new, whatever.
Have you heard of Chunk? No Captain Chunk.
Captain Chunk. Have I heard of Captain Chunk? Can't say as that I have.
And
Is
yes,
that like the Walmart brand of Captain Crunch?
No,
It is.
it's a French band that got any success because they left France.
Well, that's like Phoenix or whatever. Not Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix. Phoenix is a French band. They've been in a couple. Well, they've got major record. They're getting some airplay. But they're a French band that does all their singing in English.
Yeah, same with this band. Apparently, like I went and Wikipedia 'em and read about it, but the guy who started the band, he stated that there was no like rock scene or metal scene in France, so
Well, it is.
the
It is
band
France.
would have been dead on arrival if they didn't leave, which they've gained most of their success everywhere else, which is nice and good. But have you guys seen the new X-Men trailer?
Yep.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
What?
Been
Just-
busy.
It's gangsters too.
Yes, it is. It
I
makes,
saw Bishop. I couldn't figure out who the other two people were. I was like, holy shit, it's Bishop. It's a black dude with dreads. It has to be Bishop.
I know Quicksilver's in it.
We'll see about that. I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that because Quicksilver is going to be in the next Avengers, and that's one of those people they share custody over. And they've already hired what's his face from Kick-Ass is going to be Quicksilver. Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Yeah.
and the Olsen sister that can act is going to be the Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth
Wait, one
Olsen.
of those two can act.
Did you see Silent? Did
No,
you
no,
see
no.
Silent?
No, there's a third Olsen sister. That blow your mind? That just blow your
Yeah,
mind right there?
Wait,
Was it?
what?
What's her name? Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Did you ever watch Silent House with her in it?
Nope.
That was a pretty fucking cool movie. You know,
I know she
horror
was in
movie
one that was
wise.
called like Mary, Martha, and Margaret May or some shit where she was like in a cult.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet. That's supposed to be really good too. But she did a really good job in Silent House, I thought.
She looks like one of the twins, but smarter.
Well, she looks like one of the twins if the twins hadn't decided to be like weird fashionista co-cores. Well, I mean,
Well, it's true.
because like they're all like
Oh,
I don't know. It's like they missed the early '90s because they were too young. Like when heroin chic was a thing, because that's what they look like. They look like Kate Moss back in the early '90s.
wait, are they remaking Old Boy?
Yeah, it's got James Brolin
Yeah.
in it.
They've been making that for a while.
Well, I had
It's-
heard
it's
that
done.
they
it was
were.
gonna come
but
out. It would have come out in a month or so, but they pushed it back for some reason. I think.
Halloween Candy.
I don't know if I want to see an Americanized version of that movie because it's so good.
Well, if you look at the trailer,
Minus the
there's,
odd
there's
sex
one.
scene.
There's one trailer, and you can tell like, I'm sure they changed some bits and pieces to it, but there's some shit they just flat out lifted, like the hallway fight with the hammer.
Yeah.
It's like almost verbatim what I saw, exactly the same.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Old Boy.
Although they've changed some stuff, I know they have because like that or the trailer makes you think they have because there's at one point in time where he's I can't remember if it's right after he's gotten out of the room or while he's still in the room, and like they show like a video like on the news of his daughter doing an interview, as in like with the news reporters or whatever, talking about, do you know what happened to your father? If you could talk to your father, what would you say to him? Because like they think that he abandoned her or some weird shit like that. He just disappeared. And so if that's the case, and that really is his daughter, that means he knows what she looks like, which means he couldn't fuck her.
Yeah.
So there's something screwy in there somewhere. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen Old Boy, he fucks his daughter.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those moments. In
You know
the
what?
movie
And also,
where
if
you're
you
just
haven't
like,
seen it
"Oh,
by
damn
now, you obviously don't care, so fuck you if you get mad over it.
God damn it.
P.S. King Kong dies in the end. It was Beauty that killed the Beast.
What?
Indeed it was.
No.
Oh, hey. A topic I thought I'd bring up since I have limited time today, and I figured you guys could just kind of ramble on about whatever after I have to go. And mostly I figured, especially if we could get Chris in on this, like, he would be interested. what's your take on people that are trying to boycott the Ender's Game movie?
I know nothing about this.
Okay,
Please
for
give me a quick
They're not
rundown.
boycotting it for the movie
quick
to
recap.
begin with.
Well, a quick recap, just for like West, because I don't think he's up on it, and for anybody,
Is it a
Who
book?
doesn't
Does it have words? No, he's not up on it.
yeah, there's a writer, Orson Scott Card, wrote a book, Ender's Game.
Yep.
The author himself has let's say some less than favorable views towards homosexuals.
Okay.
Well, pretty much like outright vitriol and hatred towards them. Not to mention he's like got a bunch of crazy like neoconservative like conspiracy theory views too. Apparently,
Okay.
he's kind of fucking crazy, and I didn't know that. But anyway, they're making a movie of Ender's Game. Now, the book Ender's Game has nothing to do with his politics. Like, so
In fact, it's almost the opposite of his politics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, really, like the messages in the book are actually like the opposite of his views on inclusivity. But yeah, so anyway, there's a bunch of people that want to like boycott the movie because of his views.
Okay.
I mean, see, here's my thing, right? I think that's only happening because it's such a hot button topic issue type deal. Because if you boycotted every movie that was based on a book or every book that was by a certain author that did dirty ass shit, 99% of all the classics would not be read or done. You know what weird ass shit Hemingway and Steinbeck and them did back in the day? Come on, they were like slapping bitches and fucking. Come on now.
Yeah, went old gangster on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what they did. There is a. I don't.
I mean, you'd virtually read nothing written by men in the 1900s because they, a lot of the male writers were super anti-feminine. You wouldn't read anything by them because of their views on feminism. I mean,
here's what I need you to do right now, because this ties in very. You're obviously at a computer. I want you to go to YouTube. And I want you to type in Sean Connery slapping a woman, and I want you to watch the first result that pops up.
All right.
And that's going to tell you exactly why no books written in the first half of the 20th century past could you ever make into a movie if you wanted to disagree what the authors thought because of the type of views men had. For those of you who love Sean Connery, you're going to love this because it's just Sean Connery being Sean Connery. It's like, fuck you, I'm Sean Connery, I'll do what I want.
Are you talking about the one where he's being interviewed about slapping?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I'm gonna put this on at the end of the podcast just so we can hear him talk about this, because that sounds like it's gonna be wonderful.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave that tab open for
Yeah,
later.
Same.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've always been of the opinion that unless the art itself has been infected with whatever view it is that you don't agree with,
Which typically happens because art is supposedly an expression of one's thought.
well, not necessarily. I mean,
Hence why
it's not an
supposedly.
expression of all thought. Like, I could be super racist about one particular group of people and write a book about something that doesn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, I don't know. It's pointless for me to boycott something like that, based on views that aren't even represented in the work itself, and especially even more so in this case because it's not like Orson Scott Card's going to be making a huge kickback off of this movie to begin with. He had like a one-time sign-away deal for the rights to the movie. Like, he's not getting anything on the back end of it.
And you gotta keep in mind too, this book was written like in the late 70s. I can't remember exactly. It's an old book. It's been around for a long time. I don't know. I don't necessarily.
So obviously they're boycotting the writer, correct?
More or less.
They're boycotting the movie because of who the writer is.
Yeah. And
it would be like if I boycotted Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling decided to say, P.S. by the way, I'm a pussy and Dumbledore's gay.
When the Chick-fil-A thing happened, Like, the boycott happened because of the views of the ownership. Don't get me wrong, this isn't art. I understand. However, I supported the idea of, like, I'm not going to associate with a business that deals like that.
Yeah, but see, the direct difference, because I was actually going to use Chick-fil-A too. The direct difference is, like, when you take your money to Chick-fil-A, you know that at least some portion of that was going to get turned into money donated to hate groups, more or less.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ender's Game, if I go buy a movie ticket to that, Orson Scott Card's not getting any money, so it's not going to go to anything. It's going to go to line the pockets of studio execs who, God knows, they might have even more irreprehensible views about different things, but we don't know, so we're not going to boycott it based on that because we don't know what their views are. I mean, it's impossible to know everybody who's involved in creating something's views to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
are you going to boycott a movie because the janitor on set was a neo-Nazi? I mean, how
Right.
would you know?
Well,
Like,
since it's a piece of art, and I say that in quotation marks, since it's a piece of art, I would state as long as the piece of art is not delivering that message, I frankly don't give a flying fuck who wrote it.
Right. Well, see, that's the problem though. Now is it's really hard for people to separate it. I guess you could say. And like I'll give Orson Scott Card credit for one thing, if nothing else. I mean, the dude, whether you like his views or not, he sticks to them. He doesn't just change with the wind, I guess you could say.
Very steadfast in his beliefs.
Right, and he was really against all the changes in marriage laws and whatnot, and he doesn't like them and everything. But there is an article that was put out that.
are you talking about the one where he like bitterly admits defeat?
Yeah. I was gonna say where he was like, he's like, well, I don't like it. He's like, but they passed it in this law. He's like, so let's move on or whatever, blah blah blah. Which, bitter pill one way or the other.
Yeah.
But damn, at least he fucking admitted it. Most
Yeah.
people won't even admit it. They're just like, fuck no, it didn't happen. It's not really law. Ah.
or we're just gonna fight to reverse it or something. Yeah, I mean, I had to give him, like, I don't agree with him, but I had to give him some respect for that. The willingness to admit that society doesn't reflect your views.
And I'd be curious to know how much, and this is, I obviously can't know his mind, and I don't know that it's necessarily connected, but I mean, he's a Mormon, right? And so obviously they have a unique set of views to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
But on top of that,
You have to believe the guy found a golden, like, plate thing.
he's also in a group of people that have had that shit directed at them for the past couple hundred years as well. I mean, because let's be honest, to most Christians, Mormons are just as bad as gay people in their mind. Mormons are the gay version of Christians.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know it's a stretch comparison, but the idea is the same. I was looking at something the other day. It was actually an article online somewhere, and it was talking about Ender's Game and the boycott and stuff. And somebody brought up the fact that he was a Mormon, and then like the next post that someone was like, "Mormons aren't Christians." I was like, "Wait a minute, there, buddy. Wait a minute. You can't just cast them out because you don't believe it. I mean, they're
Well,
do they
technically,
believe in
anybody,
Jesus?
technically
They're
anybody who believes in and follows Christ is a Christian. I mean, I could invent an entirely new religion, and as long as I said that I believed in Christ and that He was the foundation of it, it would still be a form of Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a hot button thing because
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Because of the fact that it's homosexuality. But the simple truth is, everything we do, just like you said, be it buying food or purchasing something from a company, is going to be involved in something that we don't like. It's just we don't happen to know about it because that person hasn't decided to be, hasn't promoted their views or hasn't been public with it. And
I mean, to an extent, I
don't necessarily agree with what he says, but at least he had the balls to say it and be like, yeah, fuck you, this is what I think.
Yeah.
As opposed to a lot of people who are like, I'm going to think this way, but I'm not going to say anything because it's going to hurt my bottom line.
Well, and then,
the timid bigot.
or then speaking their views and then
I really
going
don't like gay
turncoat.
people unless they buy my clothes.
I thought that
It'd be so great if the person that invented skinny jeans hated faggots. He's like, I hate faggots. Ooh, skinny jeans. I'm gonna get their money and hate them at the same time.
I think that's how most businesses are. They're probably run by the worst like bigots on planet Earth, but they're like, well, I value money more than I value my dislike of X group, so
I definitely
money.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, I don't mean literally like they're all like, twirling their mustache, but
oh yeah,
when you're
no.
a businessman, you put aside your personal feelings to make money. That's what business does.
Well, I mean, that's how society used to work. Is that people realized that their independent views weren't necessarily what needed to be reflected in public policy and in public walks of life. But I don't know. It just seems like, and my one of my teachers, like he gave me, or one of our books that we're assigned is his book that he wrote, and he has a great chapter in it about how his theory is that, sadly, and it makes me kind of ashamed because I tend to lean to the liberal side of viewpoints, but is that academic liberalism is what has led to a lot of our problems, especially when it pertains to like religious intolerance and being able to candidly and honestly discuss religion, because we've gotten to the point where we conflate critiquing people and ideas on the same level. Like you can't critique someone's Christianity because now we conflate that with being mean and
I'll agree with that.
and attacking.
I'm actually kind of cool. I'm glad that I'm sure there's books been written like that besides his, and I just haven't paid attention to them. But that's kind of a point I've been thinking for a long while. I mean, we are our own worst enemy in the United States. Period. Right?
Yes.
We have a whole bunch of freedoms that allow people to have very liberal and understanding views, but those liberal and understanding views feed things that go in like this weird vicious cycle. Like, we're really liberal, so we don't like what the government's doing, but because this government is the reason why we are liberal enough to be able to say it. What?
Yeah, it's like we used to be able to divorce people's ideas from the people that held them. Like in Orson Scott Card's case, it seems like people are attacking his idea, i.e., his brainchild, his book, based on him as a person and other ideas that he has, without being able to separate the two. It's kind of a reversal of what, like in the book I'm reading, it's kind of a reversal of what that says, because that says that we can't, like, and especially in academia and classrooms, it's taboo now. Like when you're teaching critical thinking skills, if a kid goes, well, that's not what I believe. Well, I mean, like, and that only happens in classes about like the soft sciences. Like, think about it if you were in a math class and you were teaching 2 + 2 = 4, and they're like, well, that's what you believe about math. Do you know how fucking stupid you'd sound if you said that? I mean, we've allowed people their viewpoints to the point that we treat it as a valid response to critical thinking questions.
I think it comes down to, and this was actually something that somebody posted. There was a football game that was played, I guess, over the last week or so, and it was in West Texas. And in West Texas, football is a religion.
True.
I mean, I'm being dead serious. I mean, that's their thing. The whole town closes down for that stuff. But the team beat the other team 91-0.
So it's Varsity Blues?
Right. Yeah. And Friday Night Lights. Absolutely. That's where that story came from. They beat the other team 91-0. All right.
Jesus.
A parent on the losing team filed a petition and has got proceedings going to get everyone in trouble in that school and on the football team because they said it was bullying. That the team won 91-0. That they were bullying.
Okay,
the team
hold
that
on.
won 91-0.
Hold on,
coach.
hold on. Let me pause, save, and we'll. All right, we're good.
All right. So, all right. This parent for the other team has basically brought the other team up on bullying charges because saying they ran the score up. The coach on the team that won said, "Look, I'm never going to tell my kids to go out there and not play because that's not a lesson you want to teach. Don't go out there and try. Go out there and give it away." He said, "I pulled all my starters. I let the clock continue to run, so there was no pauses in clock, so the game would be done as quickly as possible. And I started calling for fair catches, so I wouldn't run any kicks back for touchdowns." He's like, "There's nothing else, realistically, that I could do, minus basically just telling my kids to take a knee over and over and over and over again." He's like, "And I'm not going to do that."
Which that would, in my opinion, be a bigger case of bullying, because at some point it's just like, see, we're better than you. We
yeah,
don't
exactly.
need to
To me,
play
that
anymore.
sends the message that we're so much better than you, we're not even going to play you.
Right. Well, okay. Now, this leads into the thing is like, is that really bullying? No. It's unfortunate, yes, but I mean that's
I'm
just
sorry
life.
your children suck at all of this.
But it comes down to someone sending a response to that story, and it said, "Look, we as a society have started teaching our kids that everything they do is great. They're always going to get a prize. Thanks for the effort. Good job. Appreciate you trying. You know,
Congratulations, you beat level 1.
right. We reward everything, and we try to give it. Oh, you came in last place, but here's a good effort. Here's a certificate, right?
Congratulations, you just started the game.
And the sad thing is, there's just that's not life. That's not how.
Well, exactly.
That's not how the world works. I mean,
I have
we're
a
setting these
theory
kids up
behind
for failure.
Yeah, I have a theory behind that. I have a theory that I think that's a byproduct of capitalism. I think if you
Oh no.
no, seriously, think about it. In a capitalist society, if you actually teach people that the way it works is that it's all or nothing, win or lose, like kill or be killed, people don't accept that at face value. They're like, well, fuck that. That's a fucked up game. I don't want to fucking play that. Like, that's their response to that if you tell them.
Well, people
But
don't.
if you brainwash them from day one into thinking that the world works, that shit's going to get handed to them as long as they try, it creates a worker mentality. It creates I'm going to go out there and do what I got to do, and
Yeah, but see, that
maybe
didn't
it'll suck balls, but one day I'll be a millionaire, and that's just not the fucking case.
that didn't exist even in our capitalist society until arguably the last 30 years. I mean, back in the 40s and 50s and shit like that. I mean, if you fucking failed, you failed, and there was nobody that was going to pick you up. Sorry, good luck, try again. Maybe it'll work out for you this time, but that's just life. We didn't start doing that until probably really the 90s, to be fair, but maybe the 80s, you could say. I mean,
Well, no, I would agree with the 90s, because that's when there was an overabundance of money dumped into simple things to show massive success. When did MC Hammer show up? Late 80s?
yeah, 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, so you've got a guy who's given a fuck ton of money, and congratulations, you have succeeded by not really doing a whole lot. And then we're going to just throw all this money at you. Now, this is supposed to last you for the rest of your life. It's not our fault that you got rid of it in 6 months. Will Smith did the exact same fucking thing, and then he had to go pull Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because he just blew all of his cash. And then he tried doing the rap thing along the side, and we got getting jiggy with it, which apparently he wasn't getting that jiggy with anything at that point.
Honestly, Wes, I wish I could read your history book to see how things actually happen in the West world.
Things
Like,
happen in the West
none
world
of
by
what you
sheer
just said
accident.
was accurate whatsoever.
Yeah, I was gonna say none of
No.
that about Will Smith was accurate whatsoever.
I never said that it's true.
Back when
No,
Abraham Lincoln led our country in World War II,
No,
we fought
wait,
Against
wait,
the
space
dinosaur
Nazis.
Nazis.
wait.
Space
From
Nazis.
what I understand about Will Smith, when he had
It's
the
nothing.
rap
What you
career,
understand about Will Smith is nothing. Let's just go ahead and say that before these people think that you're like insulting Will Smith
It's
like,
like
he's
one
a
of the
Jersey
most
girl.
successful men in Hollywood.
He's never
well,
going to
no,
be anything. He's
he
just a
is
fucking
now,
rapper.
but he had to redo it from his original first rap career.
Okay, so here's what happened, Wes. Let me
I mean,
let me tell you what really
correct
happened.
correct me.
Yes. All right. Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff were a successful rap duo
Yes,
in the late 80s, early 90s.
yes.
Will Smith was signed on with Quincy Jones as his producer. Quincy Jones was also a television producer. he realized that Will Smith, hey, this dude's a pretty funny guy. I bet I could make a TV show kind of like The Cosby Show where it would make some money. So they put Will Smith on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When he was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, TV acting and then movie acting with the inclusion of Independence Day and things like, was it 6 Degrees of Separation?
Uh-huh. 6 degrees
Made
of
him
separation.
see that, hey, look, I'm pretty good at this shit and I can make some money. So once that happened, he focused on that. Now, seeing as that happened, he went about his business, continuing to act until several years down the road. He was like, you know what? He's like, I haven't put out an album in a while. I still really love music. I think I'll do that. He put that out, had a pretty decent resurgence because Getting Jiggy With It made a shit ton of fucking money.
I know that. I know
and
that.
then he continued to act. He's one of those
song.
people that he started as a musician and then mainly became an actor and then does music on the side again. He's basically what Justin Timberlake looks like he's going to turn out to be at this point.
No, Justin Timberlake's a fucking entertaining god.
Or you would argue Will Smith is not. I'm not seeing your logic.
I would say his rap career not so good. Personally.
It's because you don't like rap. I promise you.
No,
Will
I
Smith
enjoy
made a ridiculous amount of money with his albums.
I enjoy
his
rap.
His album sales kind of speak for themselves. I mean, I can say what I want to about fucking Kelly Clarkson and not thinking that that's good music, but her album sales kind of drown out any and all complaints I could have about it.
I can still complain, damn it.
Oh, I mean,
like even Will Smith's like bad songs, even his bad songs that he made for like his movies are still catchy as fuck. Wiki wiki wow wow wiki wow wow west. Come on, what up? That's what.
Yeah, and see this
this Men in Black. Come on.
And see this is why we can't talk about religion in our culture, because people conflate subjective claims with objective claims. Saying something like I don't like Will Smith's music is subjective. That means you don't like it.
True.
But when you say his music was not successful, that's an objective claim, which we can go to Wikipedia and be like, well, millions of dollars. I'm going to say it was fairly successful.
Yeah, it kind of worked out for him.
Then I stand corrected.
You sit corrected, son.
Huge. There are like 3 Will Smith songs that I liked. I wasn't a huge fan of him, but I won't deny that he made music that people liked and bought.
Yeah.
I didn't like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or Hanson either, but they seem to have made money. Well, Hanson did for a while anyway.
Whatever, son. They were awesome. They showed back up in that Katy Perry video as the band on the yard.
Yeah, they were probably CGI'd. I think the real Hanson is dead. They died of starvation long ago once they had to start doing like Kmart commercials.
They did Kmart commercials?
I'm pretty sure it was them that did Kmart commercials like back in the day after their like real music career died. I could be wrong. It could have been some other like shitty 90s like one-hit wonder band. Like who are those people? The New Radicals. Yeah, those guys.
Sure.
You don't remember the New Radicals? They had that.
Oh yeah.
Give up. You got the music in you.
And
that's right. I heard that shit on the radio the other day.
Yeah, it still plays a lot here because this is Portland. The 90s are alive in Portland.
Did Dynamite Hack ever have another song other than Boys in the Hood that was anywhere near popular?
No. And see, those are the saddest one-hit wonders. When your one hit is a cover of somebody else's song, that's just kind of sad. like Alien Ant Farm, because yeah, they had other singles, but none of them
movies or whatever it was.
Yeah.
None of them were hits like the cover of Michael Jackson. I mean,
I would argue that their first album actually did pretty well because you've got that Michael Jackson cover that kind of, I guess, brought the sales in. And then in several video games, they had music on the scores. I think they had a song on Burnout 3, and they had a song
you know
on
who
Tony
else?
Hawk
You know
3.
who else did like an original theme song for a video game that also sucked? Green Jelly. They did the theme song to the Maximum Carnage Spider-Man Sega Genesis game. And where was their music career?
They finished their 3 albums, and they still tour.
They finally shot out a 3rd album, did they?
Yeah, apparently in I want to say 2002. Then again,
The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see.
The other side of the mountain was all that he could see.
Which is an old folk song, so you
Yeah.
can't even credit them with that as being good.
But it was on
one
Dumb
of their major
Dumb-
hits. Once again, a cover.
Yeah, it was on what Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or as I
Not
like
the
to
new
refer
one
to
that they're
them,
making again.
And apparently, all these years we've been incorrectly pronouncing their name.
What?
Green jelly, because apparently with the those lame ass like Scandinavian dots over the Y, you're supposed to pronounce it green jello.
That's their fucking
Yeah.
fault for being retarded. The hell with
Yeah,
them.
we're just gonna.
Is that any better?
Ooh! In 1984 they had an EP called "Let It Be."
That doesn't sound familiar.
Serial Killer 333. Oh hey.
Yeah.
February 19th, 2008, music news website blabbermouth.net announced that Green Jello was reuniting and that a possible U.S. tour.
Ironically enough, no one knew they'd separated.
Tour dates are listed at their MySpace page. Oh, hey, that's why nobody knows that they have a new album. They put it on MySpace.
But have you heard MySpace is gaining
fi-
traction for the music industry again?
They finally
Not for people that
released
care.
Music to Insult Your Intelligence by on October 13th, 2009.
I don't know about you, but I think they've been releasing music to insult my intelligence by for years.
Oh, it's not okay. Apparently, it's not even a real album. It's like lost B-sides and shit that they just re-recorded and put on. Because
Classy.
honestly, I mean, how many folk songs can you make like innuendos about at the end of the day?
Yeah, Teenage Rave? That
Yeah.
that was a fun song when you're 16.
No, it was fun when I was 12. Then when I was 16, I was like, this kind of isn't good anymore. It's like Insane Clown Posse. When you're 12, it's good. When you're like 20,
See, I couldn't even buy into it when I was 12. I was just like, man, these dudes are just being dick faces because like 13-year-old kids are like, it's cool because he said a lot of dirty words.
well, yeah, exactly. When you're
Invented a
12,
new word for pussy.
it's kind of cool because it's dirty words. And then when you're like 20, some of the songs are funny just because they're so bad. And then once you're 25, you just can't bear to listen to it because it's like jamming yourself in the eardrum with a fucking rusty nail.
Unless you're West. West is like, whatever, they just hit the Renaissance period, man.
No, fuck that. I would say they've got maybe what do they have, like 23 different albums?
The
They've
good
got,
news
like,
is they have a
10
legally recognized gang in North Carolina, so that's, a plus for them. Juggalos and juggalettes are recognized by the Department of Public Safety as a gang in North Carolina.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Gang of fucking idiots.
They are a gang in the North Carolina prison system.
Is it Fago Up? What is their symbol?
It's the Running Hatchet Man.
It's that
Oh,
that
okay.
lame ass running hatchet man.
Well, I didn't know if they tried to use like an album cover or something.
Nope, it's the Running Hatchet Man.
Yeah, you see a bunch of people with that tattooed on them here, and it's just like, ooh, that was
Thanks
probably
for,
a good
no, it is.
choice
It's like
for
it's
mark
like
on your body.
Thanks for marking yourself, so I know who to avoid. Appreciate that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like
It's like being branded like you were a Jew in World War II. Thanks a bunch, non-blue eyes.
and see there's where the true injustice lies because those people were rounded up and persecuted, and we allow juggalos to listen to their music on high blast in their cars.
I know, right?
I'm wondering, like, what do
I need a
juggalos
purge.
do what do they do?
It's
I
a
don't know
group
what
of
that
people-
gang would involve. Like
A lot
you
of
know, my
Fago
bad
with shovels.
We're gonna hang out, drink Fago, and listen to shitty music. Like that's our gang.
They're actually mostly like they tend to fall more on the like white power side of things, I guess you could say.
Which is a little.
It tends to be your guys that are like they can't decide whether they want to be like an Aryan Brotherhood member or a Wigger, so they're like let's split the difference. We'll be a juggalo.
Okay, like that was so much offensive boiled up into like one little One little block of time. I need time to catch my breath.
Well, I mean, truly, I mean, think about it. You know,
But it's probably the most succinct description of a juggalo I think anyone's ever managed to
they're like,
articulate.
I hate black people a whole lot, but damn, their music's pretty catchy.
Yeah, that's one of the things
Chris,
I kind of
I think you honestly figured out a way to be racist against white people.
Look, I'm equal opportunity. I hate everyone equally. All right, so that's those dudes' fault for being turd baskets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't judge on like ethnicity or
I judge on stupidity.
yeah, stupidity is my litmus test. If you're stupid, you end up getting a
Like
higher.
for instance, here's how stupidity is my litmus test. If you're too fucking stupid to know how to do a litmus test, I've eliminated you. Like John, for instance, who couldn't stick the pea stick in the pea correctly.
What?
According to John, that's why he failed one of his drug tests to get back into the military.
He couldn't successfully complete a piss litmus test.
My theory is
Why
he's
is he
hanging
supposed
out
to-
with people that did the marijuana.
Why
Uh-huh.
did he? Why was he in charge of his own stick?
Well, I think the problem is John's never been in charge of his own stick. Hence those credit card charges for Chris.
Yeah.
That's a joke only us get.
That's
Yep.
fine.
Well,
That's
I
fine.
know Wesley
That's-
listens, so he's gonna get that. And if he doesn't fall over and die by the end of that conversation, yeah,
It's classy.
yeah.
It's classy. Yeah. You know, who knows exactly what criteria they use. Well, I do actually know the specific criteria they use to make a gang in North Carolina, but I mean, the point being,
Well, I like just listen to a bunch of their music for a while. They've
no,
never.
I have brain cells that I need.
I don't.
Yeah,
But their
Will
message.
Smith was a horrible actor. He never made any money, and he's addicted to
No,
crack
no,
cocaine
no.
right
I
now.
never once said, "Hey,
But in good news, he did defeat an alien invasion, so props to him for that.
Will Smith, A History by Weston Loveland Bunting.
oh,
That's
you
right.
bastard." I hate you so
He totally
much.
saved our town. Woo!
I'm gonna start using that as a source in my research papers and putting it in MLA format, even though it has nothing to do with what I'm writing about. Like I'll be researching like voting rights in like Utah, and I'll just like quote Will Smith, A History by Weston Bunting.
That's right.
Oh,
And whoever I turn that into is gonna be like, well, it was a good paper, but I couldn't find where you used this source. And I'd be like, oh, I used it everywhere.
That's because it's now a term for completely made up shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
And thanks a lot, asshat. Now I gotta go in and edit out my last name.
Uh-huh.
Dick balls.
Uh-huh.
Yep,
Nobody cares, Wes.
I do.
You're welcome.
Ugh.
Although I don't know why you would bother editing out your last name, because people would just be able to find it anyway on the Facebook.
Fair enough.
Be like, oh, hey,
The
person's
black
tag-
helicopters circle have erased every single place I've been in the entire world. Ooh, Facebook.
Oh, by the way, did you hear about that girl that apparently got caught for robbing a bank because of Facebook or YouTube?
No, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
Single bit whatsoever.
She apparently went and robbed a bank or something, had all of the blings, and posted on her, I want to say YouTube, but it,
Had all of the bling.
yeah, no, I believe that's a quote. Had posted that up with her like fanning out the money, talking about, yeah, I'm gonna pay all my bills and then I'm going to like Costa Rica or some shit. Which, really, but I want to say like a few hours after that posted, they arrested her in the hotel room that she was at. So brilliant, because now she had her name identified, her location, IP addresses, and yeah, brilliance.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they found out that because there's all these horror stories of people like forgetting to leave their like phones and iPads and shit in their luggage, and like supposedly they don't get it when they reach their destination, like it's missing. So I forget which, like NBC Nightly News or some shit like that, did one of those investigative reports, and they tried it. They like had a bunch of iPads, they put them in bags and let them go through, and they actually caught one guy like stealing the iPad. Which, how fucking stupid would you be to steal someone's anything at this point? Like, you don't think they have a way to track it?
You could steal their iPod Shuffle.
I mean, shit, those even come with, like, you can download the apps and shit to them now. It wouldn't surprise me if you could
no,
track
I'm talking
those
about
too.
the older
I mean,
ones. The ones that are built like bricks.
Yeah, an iPod Classic. And even then, those might be trackable now for all I know. Shit. Like, why would you steal anything electronic in this day and age? It's pointless. Because you know people are going to find a way to track it down, or that they have the capability to. Like, yeah, you might get lucky and they might not know how, or they might not bother. But the fact that that capability exists should deter you. But no,
But
there's
you have
still
to
plenty of
understand.
idiots.
You have to understand the general, type of people that steal that stuff or would even bother. Like, for instance, all right, an iPad, iPod, whatever, especially an iPod. How much you really want to get by stealing that? That is just slightly above like shoplifting something out of a convenience store. $100, $200, but just enough that it would be a felony.
No, the only stolen ones that are usable are the ones when they're still in their box and have not been used or activated.
Right, but
Even then, if those get like
people
reported,
do is they steal them and they go sell them to a pawn shop or somebody who roots them and makes them usable again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not using them personally or trying to eBay them most of the time.
Yeah, but even most pawn shops, like when you go in with stuff like that, they ask you if it's yours, and and if it's something like an electronic device that's locked and you can't unlock it, that gives them a pretty strong indication that it's probably not yours, and so they usually don't buy it.
Well, right. Well, I'm talking about all these people who steal shit like this have some place they're going to try to get rid of it. I mean, a normal pawn shop, yeah, but there's always somebody that's willing to do the dirty, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. I think it's funny that like speaking of the going into places and stealing shit, like of all the stores I've been here, I can take my backpack into like any of them. Selling items that cost hundreds of dollars, and they're cool with me walking around with a backpack. But if I go into Dollar Tree, I have to leave that shit in a little basket up front, or rent out one of the lockers for like 25 cents. And
there's
leave
a
it
locker
there.
to rent out? What the hell?
Yeah,
There's a locker at
Dollar
Dollar
Tree.
Tree?
You can rent out one of those little lockers like they had.
Is it $1?
No,
it's 25 cents, I think, or 50 cents. I haven't actually ever rented it out because fuck that. I'm not getting the money to hold my bag. I'm not going to the fucking Villaggio or some shit like that. I mean, I'm like, it's not an effete establishment. I'm not giving them money to hold my bag. Sorry. But fuck, like, I just think it's how much stuff could I fit in a backpack? Like, how much money are you gonna lose, Dollar Tree? Because everything in here's $1. If I filled up my bag, you guys might lose $30.
And at least I get to eat some bad
Like
noodles.
I go into Best Buy or GameStop and I can fill up my bag and walk out with like $4,000 worth of shit. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here.
Yeah, not to mention, there's an alarm when you walk out the door with the electronic shit, and frankly, the only way that you're really gonna catch those, or the only way that you're not gonna get caught is if you don't run once you pass through that piece. Like, you walk through, you hit the door, and you bolt.
No, they're masters in how to take those little electronic things off, and where they've stolen the tools that are used to do so.
Right. From working in a store like that previously.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, those things
mean,
go walkabout all the time. Like, wait, you're gonna fire me? Oh, okay. I think I'll take this and this and this, and then I'm gonna come back next week, and you guys are gonna be short like 4 Xboxes.
and the sad thing is though, like if you play it cool in any type of store like that, like a Walmart or anything like that, you can pretty much just walk out with anything you want as long as you're confident enough. Like if you were to walk in and have like a Walmart bag in your pocket, like a Walmart, plastic bag, and a receipt. You don't even have to like have anything major. You put shit in it, and it was something that didn't have an electronic tag, or maybe something you got an electronic tag so you could take it off. I guarantee you, 80 to 90% of the time, you could literally just walk out the door between the things, and no one would even look at you sideways.
Oh yeah, it's like Mason told me, so take it with a grain of salt because we know how much truth usually is in all of his stories. But he told me about a guy that he knew that did that to Walmart. He went in and bought a stereo system for his car, walked out, put it in his car, took the bag and the receipt back in, and did it like 2 more times. And then once he had like 3 stereos, he just went and took the original one back and got his money back. And then there was that guy in Washington that got caught when John was still working there. That he had his daughter sit in the cart, and she would
Was that
wear
when he
like
got
a
the
long
beer and
dress.
everything?
I don't know about beer, but I know they stole like the smaller TVs, like the 22-inch TVs, like the really small ones, because she would sit on top of them and like put her dress over them. And when they'd roll the card out and it would beep, they would just be like, "Well, I don't know what's causing it to beep," and so the people would just let them out.
Well, this is also Walmart.
And they did it with like 3 or 4 TVs, and then there was the younger kids. Like I don't know if they were just in high school or if they were high school graduates yet or not, but probably kids at Beaufort, I would think, at the community college. Like
You
going
remember
up there
Brian
and bought.
Dew?
Yeah, I remember him.
His little brother and like sister they would go in there and they would basically like shrink wrap stuff. Like they would return stuff that didn't have anything in it.
Oh, nice.
They would get a box, put some weight in it, and they would shrink wrap it and turn it in at customer service. Or they would go in the back, steal something from electronics in the bathroom, walk out, and then walk back in and trade it in for cash.
Well,
get a refund.
Yeah, that's kind of bad design decision on Walmart's part. You don't put the electronic section right beside the fucking back bathroom. Just don't.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. But yeah, that's essentially what those college kids did. They went and bought like one of the like more expensive, and this isn't saying much, but one of the more expensive computers Walmart had, and like took it home, gutted it, like completely gutted it for like all of the components that were good and new, and put it in their tower, and put the shit from their tower back in that computer and tried to trade it in. And John was the one that had to tell them that
I'm
there was
surprised they didn't get away
something
with
wrong
it.
well, no, like apparently, like that's saying how dumb like the people are there. Like, when they opened it up, they looked at it and they said it didn't like the colors didn't match on like the disk drive, and that's why they called John up there to look at it. If they hadn't done that, the people would have gotten away with it.
And how bad is it that it's John that you had to call?
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
No, this isn't right. What do you mean it's not right? Well, this model is supposed to have these color matching. Yours is purple. This is supposed to be magenta.
I'm telling you, you and I look. I'm telling you, John has been perpetrating the greatest like con job in the history of the world. It's so good that even I still fall for it occasionally. I'll start talking to him about stuff about computers, like he knows what I'm talking about, because I guess he's a tall, skinny white guy that wears glasses. Now kids are like, "Wait, you have no fucking idea what I'm saying, do you?" God damn it! This was the dude who couldn't like fix his computer, like because he's like, I can't, my graphics card went out. I was like, just take it out. He's like, but then I won't have any screen. I was like,
you already
every
don't
computer
have
has a built-in graphics processor, John. You will be able to see.
It's welded to the motherboard. We promise.
Why
in
do
most
you
shitty
think
computers,
this
there's one
port and
attached
this
that you
port
can never
look
get
the
rid of.
Exact same. And this one is the one that you plug your monitor into. That's cute. Oh.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, he did a good job of convincing us for a while there that he knew about computers, and I'm like, Wait a minute. You're the only one of the three of us that plays
No.
World of Warcraft that's had your account hacked. And not only have you had it hacked, but you've had it hacked like 3 times.
So sad.
Well, and you've already mentioned this, kind girls. So, yeah.
I'm gonna go to Google Chrome and I'm gonna. Oh, that was so funny. Mason sat down at his computer and started. I forgot what we were looking up, but it started with a K, and he hit K, and it was like kindgirls.com.
What the hell? That's a lot of porn.
Come on, John. At least do it in an incognito window. That's why they made that.
So sad.
Google supporting your masturbating needs.
That's right.
That's going to be the next Google product, Google baiting. Actually, that kind of flows off the tongue, especially if they had a beta, because then you could just misspell beta, and it'd be Google beta. Ha ha ha.
So sad.
An
Oh, yeah.
optimized
Same
search engine just for porn.
So I got something that the one thing I was thinking about I wanted to talk about, and
Go
this is
for
just a pet peeve for me, and
Alright.
I know this shouldn't affect me, and it doesn't have to because I have more than have the capability to solve it, but it just seems like such a misstep after they did so many things right. I'm talking about Sony.
Yep.
Okay.
So Sony,
We're talking PS4, right?
yes,
Okay.
Sony has really been hitting the ball out of the park with the PlayStation 4 release.
Yep.
They like poked Microsoft in the eye repeatedly. I mean, so much so that Microsoft had to like go back and change like almost every single design decision about the Xbox One.
Well, in
To match what
tandem to
Sony
that, you also know that Microsoft, they weren't going to make some of the changes like with the always online and stuff like that until the U.S. military walked up and said, "Yeah, we can't buy your system."
Well, not only just that, but I mean, think about. All right, I got you beat, West.
Oh, go for it.
I'll do you one better for Xbox, even though that's not really what I want to talk about.
Well, I'm building this into
not
tandem.
always online, meaning like all these service members that were in the military could
Yep.
not use it when they were deployed.
Yep.
But also the fact that you could not use it, period, if you were somewhere else that was not one of the countries
Oh,
that the
yeah.
Xbox was released in.
Yes.
I mean that even if you bought it and you had internet, if your internet was coming from Abu Dhabi, it wouldn't let it actually work.
Yep. Forgot about that.
So, yeah. But no, all right. So Sony released a big, frequently asked questions thing the other day.
Oh yeah.
And most of it was stuff that everybody knew, but it had some really surprising additions to it. Now, the first of these I'm going to list does not matter to me because I don't care about this.
The camera no longer comes with it?
Camera wasn't coming with it to begin with, West.
No, they said the first set of packages the
No.
camera would be with it. It
No,
wouldn't be separate.
West. No. Once again, false history.
No, I'm pretty confident.
No,
that
I'm
was...
West. Trust me.
Uh-huh.
All right. They said that they did not include the camera with it to begin with, so they could get it a lower price.
Oh, see, I was watching it before they had released the price. They were stating
That was the PlayStation camera used to be called the PlayStation Eye.
Yes.
They made the decision not to include that because they looked at what Microsoft was doing and realized a lot of people wouldn't want it and would rather just have the system cheaper, which was a good call.
Yeah. No. Don't disagree. I've got the move, so I kind of want the new camera.
Anyway, so the first thing that was on the FAQ, not the first thing, but the first thing it noticed is that the PlayStation 4, will no longer be able to play audio CDs.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right. Not only can it not play audio CDs, you can't put your MP3s on it and play them either.
Yep.
And I was like, that's an odd decision,
Yep.
right? Okay, so I was like, whatever. Not a huge deal. Once again, didn't use that functionality
No,
at
neither
all.
did I. But the CD thing was funny because it goes Blu-ray, yes. DVD, yes.
Yeah.
Audio CD, no. What the fuck?
Which
Isn't that like
all that is
default
literally
for
is them
optical
installing
drives?
a driver. I mean, they can install that in a patch, if they want to.
Yeah.
Same thing with what I'm about to mention, but it still just boggles my mind. All right, so, no CD, no MP3. But here's what I really don't like. The PlayStation 4 cannot be used as a DLNA media server for your computer. Meaning you cannot stream anything from your computer to the PlayStation 4. Now, that kind of blows balls for me because I use my PlayStation 4 to stream everything to it.
Yeah.
You mean your 3?
Yeah, whatever. My 3. Um, now,
How
I
does
don't,
that
I don't
even make
have
sense?
I don't have to do that because I mean I could easily set up a media server if I wanted to, but it was just a matter of convenience. And I'm just like, why would you?
Yeah,
Why
no.
would you do that? And
That would be a firmware piece.
right, all they got to do is they can do an update. It's not a big deal. But why would you not include it out the gate? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Because that's
And
where...
I can tell you why.
Okay.
At least this is my belief. Why? Let me rephrase that. The reason why you can't play your audio CDs and you can't put MP3s on it is because they want you to use that shitty ass Music Unlimited service.
Oh, you fuck that.
No.
In fact, the only way you could play music while you're playing a game, period, is to play it through Music Unlimited. They've said that. I was like, whatever. And so the only thing I can think of is with the streaming is they're trying to make you use the Video Unlimited service that exists. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But my only hope for this is there's enough people that were like, "What, are you kidding us?" That they said that they talked about it, and so there's maybe I guess a good chance they'll add it in.
Well,
but I just can't figure out why they would strip that away. Like, do they not realize that was a buying point for a lot of people? Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't.
I don't.
Yeah,
think
because
it was...
especially with the Xbox basically selling itself with that capability, like trying to sell itself as the all-in-one media center.
Mm-hmm.
Deal. Like, why would you be like, I mean, isn't the idea to one up the other guy? Why would you be like, well, yeah, we don't really want ours to do that. You can just buy ours for games, and then you can buy our shitty music service and our shitty video service.
And just I mean I have hope that they'll fix this. Or else why it literally boggles the mind. But I was just like, I can't. Why would you do that? Why?
Hold on.
I don't. No sense is made from this. But I don't know. I mean, that was a big selling point to me, and it's really pissing me off because I assumed that any functionality I had with my PlayStation 3 would obviously, minus backwards compatibility because, I don't even expect that anymore. But
yeah,
that it would be there, and they took it away, and I do not understand why. Well, I do, but I don't understand how they can think it was a good idea. Let me phrase it that way.
I can't understand why they would take that away to begin with. I think, in your case, I never considered that as a necessity until I had it. And then after I had it, I was like, "Oh shit, this is amazing." But now, correct me if I'm wrong. I glazed over a lot of the stuff in that, but
glazed over.
Yes, I glazed over.
Just checking.
Did they say that they were releasing it so you could put on your own software for development?
The 4?
Yeah, for the 4. For developmental purposes.
I highly doubt it. At least out of the gate. I mean, they might have it for like indie developers and stuff. They might have a toolkit, but I mean, the PlayStation 3 came and you could install Linux and all kinds of stuff on it, and that's why the military bought a shit ton of them. But they, they took that functionality away.
Yeah,
in PlayStation 3 because they realized, hey, wait a second.
I don't see
this
it.
Might not have been a great idea on our part.
Yeah, I don't see
reason.
it staying for a long time. It may be something confliction issue. It doesn't make sense for them not to have that capability. And I know they're trying to focus more on the game, but all those additional little things help make that system as good as it is. Like, the 3 has a lot of issues from a developmental standpoint, but the entertainment aspect of it is really good. And they're slowly adding additional apps from a bunch of providers. Like the Redbox app just showed up, which is nice.
It's finally out.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. I haven't even checked to see if that was a new one that could be up there.
Yeah, I turned on my system and it had done an update overnight and it was there and I'm like, oh, okay, so I can look at getting an account for this now. Curious.
Because I've been keeping an eye out for that because I wanted to try Redbox Instant, but I wasn't going to sign up for my like free month of it until I could do it on the PS3.
Yeah, I think it came out like this past week, which by the time this episode goes up, it's going to be like 4 or 5 weeks at that point. But yeah, no, it just came out, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay, we were talking about this. I can go look at it. What is it? And I started scrolling through, and their list seems pretty solid. I like it.
Yeah, plus with Redbox Instant, you get 4 credits to go to the box and get DVDs every month too. So
yeah, I'm really hoping
How much
that
is it
also
a
works
month?
for
I
the.
can't remember.
it's like
$8.
$7.99, $8.99, something like that.
Yeah, it's 8 flat.
So you can get four movies plus like whatever they have streaming, I guess,
Yep.
right?
And
Yeah.
they're
So,
streaming.
yeah, so essentially you're paying $4 for streaming because you'd have paid $4 for the rentals to begin with.
Yeah, but yeah, only for that month. But I hope that works for the games too.
I doubt it.
Me too.
Yeah, I doubt they have like game streaming.
Well, not
that
the
might be
streaming
something
factor,
they can.
but
That might
being
be
able to
something
go to the
they can do on
box.
like the 4 or the Xbox One or something.
Well, but being able to go to the box and
Oh, you mean rent games?
yeah, use your 4 to rent.
See
the
what
game.
they'll do though is they'll do like they did before, where your credit will only be worth like the $1.20 of a normal movie night, and then you'd have to pay the difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like every time I get a free credit for a DVD, I end up usually getting a Blu-ray and paying like 30 or 50 cents or whatever it is.
Yeah, I wonder how. I guess you would. I wonder if you just can walk up to the box and like punch in your user ID code or something to access your 4, or maybe you just use the internet to hold the 1, so you can go up there and say, "Hey, I'm this person," and then you get it. I don't know. I really don't know how that would work.
Well, you might have to sign like you know how you can reserve a movie at Redbox.
Yeah.
My guess is like you would go to your Redbox and maybe sign into your account,
Gotcha.
and it would have so many credits on there.
Oh, someone's gonna get fucked because they're gonna forget to sign out or some shit.
Yeah.
It'd be
Well, I
like
mean, the
Facebook
system
in a
doesn't
high
automatically keep
school.
your credit card and stuff up there when you go rent now. I don't think it would keep you signed up, going forward.
Have like a 30-second, if you've been sitting there for 30 seconds and nothing's happened, then it automatically logs you out.
That's what I would think.
I would
I mean,
hope.
that would be smart on their part.
Yeah, because we don't need a Facebook left open in a high school situation. Why is my
I
account
got no
deleted?
sympathy for you if that happens anyway. So you're not supposed to use Facebook at high school, so you deserve everything you get for being a d-bag.
Yeah, it's kind of like shit.
Yes.
That time, my stepbrother left his laptop open and somebody hopped on and they were like, "I like dicks, like all over his like Facebook. I've never been that type of person to leave my stuff open where somebody could do that, but it's hilarious when it happens to someone else.
Hey Wes, look, I see a former significant other is in Kansas City. That's odd. Creepy.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, maybe she's going to visit John.
Where is John, by the way?
Missouri. Somewhere.
Ah.
Somethingville, Missouri. Oh.
Well, I think I have picked out.
Assuming they haven't sent him to, like, Afghanistan.
I think I've picked out your Christmas present, West, and I'm still working on Chris's.
Okay. Well, guys, believe it or not, we actually have a full-blown episode, and I know we all got shit to do. So, you guys want to cut it here?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can.
Sweet.
You did an interview in which you said, it's not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again, and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
What would...
This is what happens when women try to get the last word, Barbara. Pick your bitch ass up off the floor.
It's so bad that we're laughing at that, but it's so funny.
But it's because he's the only person on the planet that can get away with it. Yeah, I'm Sean Connery, and I beat the shit out of women who don't shut the whole mouth.
And he's talking to Barbara Walters the entire time. Like, oh.
Is it bad now that when I hear things like that, I picture was it Daryl Hammond from Saturday Night Live instead of actual Sean Connery?
Fuck butter.
So you're listening to the Nerd Method podcast with West and
Chris.
Yay, you got it this time. You can get in touch with us on... Fuck, what's the email? I forgot. You forgot too!
Let me make sure I know what it is without fucking it up. I have it on my phone.
I believe it is nerdmethodpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, methodpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, just email us if you want to talk to us.
You might want to re-record that. That's a clusterfuck failure right there.
I think it's a nice intro. I really think it's a nice intro. Oh.